Welcome to Voodoo Whiskey Gaming, and this is my late review of Aaero. I played it on the PS4, it's also available on the Xbox One. Aaero's pretty interesting because it's another musical rhythm type game, and I actually really enjoy it. It's kind of a combination of some other things that I've seen in other games, but with its own, take on it. As a music game, it obviously doesn't have any really story, so let's just focus on the audio, which is fantastic. I really like the soundtrack to this game, which is obviously key. I'm not necessarily up on all the electronic music out there, the EDM and all that shit, but I did enjoy it. I really liked the music in this game, and I really enjoyed the world that you're kind of traveling through while listening to this music and interacting with the music as best you can. Although right now I think my favorite track is probably track 2, and obviously I would love to play this music for you, but DMCA takedowns and all that crap, a lot of that happens because of music. As for the gameplay, it's going down a rail essentially, moving in a circle, and following a trail at times to hit certain music, and then blasting enemies at other times to continue the music. Not that the music itself really stops, because it doesn't, but certain parts of the music will be played much softer. You may not necessarily hear the full song if you're not doing well at the game. Obviously, there's definitely a leaderboard to this game, and I will get into one thing gameplay related that I feel is very heavily reflected by the leaderboards, is that this game ramps up in difficulty pretty quickly. They've balanced out a little more the longer the game's been out, but there's definitely a huge gap in difficulty from the first level to the second to the third, and so on down the line. As for the game modes, it's really kind of medium, hard, harder, and then there's the chill out at the bottom, which I like. It's an interesting mode, mostly because it's a practice mode. It allows you to play through the level without any consequences. And by consequences, I really just mean failure, because if you fail to keep your multiplier high enough, you can and will lose a life, and in the mode I was playing, which was just normal mode, you have 3 lives, so if you get hit by one of the enemies, you crash into something, because there are obstacles that can be crashed into and can kill you, but if you allow your multiplier to get too low, you'll also lose a life. 3 lives, you're done. Everything is very circular in this game. It's all about kind of moving around the circle, and you do that in different patterns with the music when you're doing that section of the game. And like I mentioned, you can shoot at enemies, and that will tie right into the controls, which that's kind of the majority of where the controls are at, is just kind of controlling the sticks. One for aiming, obviously the right stick, because that's just normal. And then the left stick for moving around the circle, or just not necessarily in the circle. The circle is your limit, but you don't have to just go around it like that. You can move diagonally and whatever you want within the circle. When you're following the pathway, obviously, there's no diagonals really. It's kind of following the circle, but in different manners. Aiming, it comes in handy to be able to move at diagonals and whatnot to dodge and fire. And the controls work very well. At first I wasn't sure about the aiming, but then I got the hang of it and I really enjoyed it. I think it works well. I do think the explanation for how to do it in the tutorial could be better. And lastly, the graphics. It's not like a hardcore graphics game. It doesn't need to be. It's more about the music and providing some interesting visuals to go along with the music. But I do like the visuals in the game. I like the tunnels. I like the open world areas. Not that you can explore them in an open world sense. It's just an interesting landscape to view. When I picked this up at the beginning of the week, it was on sale on the PS4 and Xbox One. I can't vouch that it is still now, but at the price, it was worth it. It was an interesting experience. I don't have any complaints with it. But I also wouldn't fault you for waiting to buy it on sale, but I do recommend it. Okay, so in the comments below, since I know nothing about EDM really, why don't you tell me one of your favorite EDM producers? And as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. And if you like what I'm doing in general, share, subscribe. Have a good one.